In last week's video, we talked about the concept of biological prime time, which basically explains how there's a time of the day when your energy levels and your ability to focus and manage your attention are at their absolute peak. And if you can figure out what your biological prime time is, and it is different for everyone, we all kind of vary in that regard, then you can start to manage your schedule a little bit differently, and you can try to schedule your most intellectually demanding and challenging work to coincide with your biological prime time, so hopefully you're bringing your A game when you get it done. But that begs the question, how do you figure out when your biological prime time is if it changes for everyone? This was a really common question that I got in the comments from last week's video, and one method that you can employ to figure it out is to do an experiment where for maybe a week or 2 weeks, you track your energy levels for every waking hour. And when I went out looking for a system to build this, I figured there'd be an app or something that someone had already set up, but there really wasn't. So I had to build it myself, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how you can build your own easy-to-use energy tracker system. There's a little bit of setup involved, but I think I've done a lot of the heavy lifting for you, and once it's set up, you're basically going to get something where you can open your smartphone, open a link to a Google form, basically just hit one button to tell it your energy, and that is going to feed data into a graph that will, in real time, start to average your energy levels. And after a week or 2 weeks, you're going to be able to see your average energy level at each hour of the day, and you can use that to start making decisions. So if you're on board and you want to try this, let's dive in and build it. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go over to my spreadsheet template, which you'll find linked down in the description or in the companion blog post for this video. And you're going to go to File and make a copy so you have your own copy of the spreadsheet, which you can edit. So now this copy of the spreadsheet will be in your Google Drive. You'll see it's called Copy of Hourly Energy Tracker. You can rename that to whatever you want, but the most important thing you want to do right now is to create a new version of results sample, which is where you're going to have your actual energy data recorded. So we'll just click here and go to duplicate. And now you'll have a copy of results sample. I'm just going to go ahead and rename this to results. And this will be mine. Now, right now it's filled with sample data, which is taken from responses sample. And this is just a bunch of completely random data. It's not actually accurate, but eventually you're going to get rid of this and it's going to start filling in with your own data over time as you track your energy. So now let's go over to google.com/forms. We're going to click this Go to Google Forms button. And then we're going to create a blank new form. Let's call this form Energy Tracker. And the one question on it will be, what's your current energy level? And this is built so you can enter data as fast as possible. Now for the options, you can really name them whatever you want, but you want to make sure the first character is a number. And I'm going to go ahead and use a 1 to 4 scale because I think 1 to 10 is a bit too much for tracking your energy levels. Once you've got your options entered in, let's go ahead and make this question required. And then let's head over to the responses tab where we're going to link this up to our spreadsheet copy. So click this green button here, and then we'll select an existing spreadsheet. And we're going to use Copy of Hourly Energy Tracker right here. And now you're going to see a new tab added to that spreadsheet, which is going to be called Form Responses 2 at this point. Now here's where it gets a little bit technical, but if you follow along, it should be pretty easy. If you go over to your Results tab, you're going to notice that in cell A2, we're using array formula and value and hour to grab the responses and track them here. Now the reason we have to do this is because Google Forms actually adds new rows to the spreadsheet when responses are sent in. It doesn't just fill in the existing rows, so we can't put some formulas in here and have them track the data that way. We have to actually have a different sheet over here using array formula to watch the responses sheet and copy the data over, and then we can do operations on it like get the averages and graph it. So let's go over here to this new Form Responses 2 tab. We're going to rename it to Responses. And the last part of this is we're going to go over to results. We're going to edit our little array formula, and all we're going to do is change the sheet that it's referencing to responses, which will make everything disappear. And the last thing we'll do is do the exact same thing over in the B column. And now you're going to have a bunch of zeros and a bunch of divide by zero errors here because you don't have any data currently in your responses tab. But as you enter your data through the next week or so, as you're doing the experiment, the data is going to be ported over here, and you're eventually going to get a nice looking graph that looks like this, except for it will be accurate to your energy levels. From there, you're going to want to open your form on your phone so you can save the link to it on your home screen. So let's click send, and then we're going to click this little link icon and shorten the URL. And then copy the URL you get, not this one, but the one that you get, and send it to yourself via email or via Facebook or any way that you can use to get it on your phone. Once you've got your form pulled up on your phone, you're going to want to click this middle icon here and then hit add to home screen so you can basically create an app out of this form. And if you're on an Android phone, I'll have a link in the description for a way to do this because I don't own an Android phone myself, but it's pretty simple. And from there, the only thing left to do is to set up some sort of system to remind you to enter your energy data every single hour. Now, I actually looked into this and there are not a whole lot of apps on the iPhone that can tell you to do something every single hour without a lot of setup. So I ended up going with a very simple app called Every Hour, which will simply make your phone beep or vibrate every single hour. And you can actually set a bounded time period. So it only happens between say 6 and 10 p.m. And if you're on Android, you can use the Blip Blip app. Now there's a lot of other apps out there, but this is the one I found. And since I don't have an Android phone, it gets my tentative recommendation. So to give you a quick demonstration of how this works, I'm going to go ahead and enter some data into the form here. And let's just go with a 4 and submit it. And if we check out our spreadsheet here, we can see we've got a timestamp and a response. And if we check out our results tab, we're going to see that data has been ported over. It's starting to be averaged, and we have a single point of data, which as you enter more, will turn into a graph. And that's all there is to it. So once you've got the system built and then you've entered data in for maybe a week or 2 weeks, at that point, you're going to have a really good idea of when your individual biological prime time is. And from there, you can start making changes to your schedule so that your most intellectually challenging and difficult work is done right at those highest energy time periods. And hopefully, as a result, your work output will be better and you'll be happier while you do that work. Once again, you can find that link to my spreadsheet template down in the description. And there's a couple of other things you're going to find down there as well. Number one, you'll find the link to the companion article for this video, which has step-by-step instructions for the whole process. So check that out if you need some clarification on anything. And number two, there's going to be a link to a thread in the College Info Geek community over on Reddit where I would love to hear either improvements to the system or maybe different approaches you might have. And I would also love to hear your results from doing this experiment if you choose to. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. Hopefully you found it helpful. And if you did, you can give it a like to support this channel. Also, if you want to get new tips on being a more effective student every single week, you can click that big red subscribe button down there. And if you want to get a free copy of the book I wrote on earning better grades, you can click the picture of the book right there and I will send a copy to your email. In last week's video, I went over 5 lessons that I learned from the book, The Productivity Project. So if you want to get those lessons, click the video right there to watch it. And once again, that full article with step-by-step instructions is right there if you want to read it. If you'd like to connect with me, then pick up a wired telephone receiver and sneeze my name in Morse code. Otherwise, you can use the social media links down below.